So meanwhile, back up in the modern world, switching back up from Ecuador, the evidence was mounting of growing threats from climate change, species extinction, deepening inequality. And when we saw that, we realized that our programs, designed primarily to wake people up individually and primarily through live interactions, was not going to be able to scale rapidly enough to awaken enough people to meet the challenge that was in front of us. We saw we would need to find a new gear. And so in 2010, we launched a media campaign called 4 Years Go. It was an attempt to jumpstart a radical shift in individual engagement using new social media tools and the internet. And from that, we determined that not only do we need now to wake up people by the millions, but we need to help them stay awake and find ways collectively for them to take meaningful action. And so we created and launched the Up to Us engagement pathway. And that's the current expression of our work, and we're now going to hear about what we're doing now in the world.
So the Up to Us engagement pathway is a set of extraordinary programs that provide something that was missing before. Is the structure to keep people awake, engaged, and in action with others.
So, the Up to Us pathway has several elements. There's the Awakening the Dreamer Symposium, which we mentioned earlier, and that's now available online, which means the possibilities are endless. It can reach millions and millions. Then there's the Game Changer Intensive, a 7-week online course for people who want to go deeper and who want to actually change the game. The intensive supports people in getting engaged in two of the most critical movements and issues of our time. The movement to break free from our addiction to fossil fuels, and the movement for a democracy that's truly representative of the people. So, yeah, right? It's quite a course. Has anybody, raise your hand if you've taken the Game Changer Intensive.
Wow.
Yeah, talk to them. It's quite a course.
Really nice. Well, so individual action is really, really great. And yet what the world needs today is collective action. And that's exactly what's happening in Pachamama Alliance communities around the world. It's sort of where the rubber meets the road. This is where people find each other, inspire one another, and get to work together. And I have to tell you, it's such a privilege for me to know and work with the people in Pachamama Alliance communities. They heard the call once and committed themselves to sharing it with others. And to me, they embody and represent that intersection of environmental sustainability, spiritual fulfillment, and social justice. They're just amazing. And you may ask yourself, what are they up to? What do they do? Well, they're doing some of the most important work of our times. They're taking our programs and adapting them to their own cultures. They're educating children with our programs in China, Australia, in the US. They are just amazing. I've seen them march in Washington, D.C. for democracy. They're protecting the lands and mountains of the world. They're really impressive, and they're not going to stop.
And as she's describing a lot of people in this room and who are watching online. To date, volunteers have taken the work of the Pachamama Alliance to more than 80 countries, and they have translated it into at least 13 languages that we even know about. And they are just unstoppable. There are some of the countries. It just keeps spreading, and it keeps spreading.
And I agree with Tracy. When I was talking about the people in communities, I have no doubt that I'm talking about people just like you all here today, that deep commitment to this work and to a new world. And so our next frontier is to bring together all of those Pachamama Alliance communities around the world and create a network of collaboration amongst them. And it's really exciting because we are creating now the tools and the programs to bring them together and to enable them to collaborate, to create new initiatives, and they can do this across languages, countries, states. We are not going to stop. Technology is on our side, we're using it, and it's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Here's what we know. These programs work. The opportunity now is to have them disseminated very widely and very quickly. What's needed now is that there be millions and millions of people who are grappling with the challenges that are facing humanity today and finding and implementing local solutions. That is the ecosystem of participation that we intend to create. Join us.
Join us.